the International Day of Peace is devoted to urging warring parties everywhere to lay down their weapons and work for harmony. As the COVID-19 pandemic continues to ravage the world, this call is more important than ever. That is why I appealed for a global ceasefire in March. Our world faces a common enemy, a deadly virus that is causing immense suffering, destroying livelihoods, contributing to international tensions, and exacerbating already formidable peace and security challenges. The focus of this year's International Day of Peace is shaping peace together. In that spirit, and to mark our 75th anniversary, the United Nations is bringing people together for a global conversation about shaping our future and forging peace in trying times. In these days of physical distancing, we may not be able to stand next to one another, but we must still stand together for peace. And together, I know we can and will build a more just, sustainable and equitable world.
Welcome to the Rotarian Peace Projects Incubator. Peace does not need words. It needs actions, concrete actions. This is why the Swiss Liechtenstein Chapter of the Rotary Action Group for Peace has initiated the Rotarian Peace Projects Incubator. I'm Walter Giger, the chairman of the incubator and the representative of Rotary International to UN Geneva. What is the incubator? Over the past 6 months, some 50 people, Rotary Peace Fellows, Rotarians, Rotaracters, experts from more than 25 countries have worked hard to elaborate peace projects, which can now be picked up by Rotary Clubs and Districts around the world. The results are about 40 service projects for communities, ranging from Colombia to Bangladesh, from Sweden to Uganda, always with the one objective in mind: contribute to peace. We have chosen 10 thematic areas, and afterwards, each coordination team will present you their exciting projects. Enjoy their presentations. Thank you very much for your interest.
My name is Natalia Siniaeva-Pankowska, and I am a Rotary Peace Fellow alumna from Poland. Together with my colleague, a Rotary Peace Fellow from Massachusetts, Dr. Matthew Johnson, we coordinate the Group on Culture and Resources for Peace. We believe that culture can contribute greatly to conflict prevention, recovery, resilience, and reconciliation. I also represent an organization which is called Never Again. It deals with commemoration of the Holocaust and other genocides, but also with contemporary issues of tolerance and diversity. And when today we see this growing polarization, hate against minorities, migrants, refugees in Europe, in the world, it is important to take the perspective of never again and to think, how much can we do by using culture to change it?
History is filled with examples where culture has played a decisive role in building peace. Sport has been used to fight discrimination, to reintegrate child soldiers, and today in the U.S., sports figures bring attention to police violence against ethnic minorities. Likewise, music has been used to fight injustice and discrimination, build solidarity, and promote dialogue. Our group is exploring ways to deploy cultural resources to build more peaceful societies. We have focused on Bangladesh. Relatively small in area, Bangladesh is the 8th most populated country in the world with 160 million citizens, but it ranks 97th on the Global Peace Index. While secular by law, 94% of its population is Muslim. Religious minorities, including Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians, are found in Chittagong and other regions. On its border with Myanmar lies one challenge to peace: a large refugee camp with individuals displaced from Myanmar, known as Rohingyas. The second challenge involves outbreaks of violence against religious minorities. And the third challenge is the loss of cultural traditions as the country experiences growth and change. 3 proposed Rotary Peace Projects address these challenges. The Neighbors promotes intercultural dialogue and harmony among Bangladeshis.
We need to have more peace projects in Bangladesh. Our project aims to promote diversity in violence-threatened areas and equip young peoples and other groups with necessary skills for peace building and conflict preventions through trainings and cultural programs.
The project aims to design an intercultural toolkit to train trainers, young leaders to conduct trainings, seminars, and lectures for Bangladeshi young people. The second project is Let There Be Light, a school for forcibly displaced Myanmar nationals. Over 2 million have fled Myanmar in the face of violence, including many women and children. Refugee camps on the border have become fertile grounds, breeding fundamentalism. This project will build a primary school serving 600 children from refugee camps. Classes will be taught in Rakhine and English. Given inadequate access to health care, the school will include a primary health center. The third project is named Shantinale, which means a place for peace. Here the aim is to empower children and folk musicians in the northern regions of Bangladesh to create a center in which to learn about the deep meaning of folk song, folk instruments, and to bring these traditional skills into the 21st century with the addition of a sound and recording studio and a well-equipped library. Women, men, and children will be included without regard to religion or ethnic group.
It is the obligation of every person born in a safer room to open the door when someone in danger knocks. Do you know the power of art, food, music in building bridges between migrant refugee communities and host societies? Our refugee migrant projects aim to highlight what brings refugee and migrant communities together with host societies through initiatives in Cyprus, Greece and Ireland, which will add to a wider European and global conversation about how we can create spaces for refugee and migrant voices in our host communities. We propose to link the activities of the Rotary Club with existing initiatives involving art, food and music. Finally, we also propose that Rotary Club members will be able to use their business networks to improve the lives of asylum seekers and refugees integrating into the labour system in Europe. This workshop will present 4 projects to be developed, which seek to build bridges between migrant refugee communities and host communities and have amplified grassroots voices, thus encouraging increased dignity through social music projects for children, visual arts and food.
War Child protects children affected by conflict. We believe no child's life should be torn apart by war. War Child UK has developed a new youth advocacy programme to help young people speak about issues impacting them and other children affected by conflict, and then to take action to bring about positive change in their communities. We have been supporting groups of youth in Bidi Bidi refugee settlement in northern Uganda for 2 years. Young people from the Ugandan host community and South Sudanese refugees have been working together to protect the previously neglected, unaccompanied and orphaned children. The new programme has shown great promise with both local advocacy and participant personal development successes, but now we need an external evaluation to build evidence of effectiveness. We also want to elevate the issues raised by the young people so we can make sure these orphan children are properly protected. Rotary funding would not just enhance this brilliant work started by the youth in Uganda, but would also help ensure sustainability and allow us to reach many others.
The 1947 partition of India was the largest forced migration in human history. Over 14 million people migrated on religious lines, and 1 million tragically perished. Nearly 75 years later, the shadow of the partition continues to hang over South Asia. India and Pakistan have fought 4 wars since, and under nationalist governments, a new wave of xenophobia against religious minorities threatens the region today. Through this global grant, Project Dastan aims to challenge the divisive narratives that are sweeping across the subcontinent. We propose a series of workshops for young people, held in cities across India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. These workshops seek to challenge some of the learnt antagonism that we know has been prevalent since 1947. In the workshops, participants will experience Child of Empire, an animated virtual reality documentary that puts viewers inside the shoes of a migrant during the 1947 partition. Throughout the experience, participants follow 3 real-life recounts of the partition, seen through the eyes of a 7-year-old child. Following this, participants will engage in activities and discussion to explore their own history and what it might mean for them and their choices today. Child of Empire is funded by Arts Council England, National Geographic and Catchlight, and backed by activists such as Malala Yousafzai.
Hello everyone, hope this finds you well. Phil Gittings here, Rotary Peace Fellow and Education Director for World Beyond War. We're so excited to let you know about a brand new, first of its kind peace project and how you can get involved. This project is a collaborative venture between World Beyond War, Rotary Action Group for Peace, the RAG Rotaract for Peace, and international experts and organisations from different parts of the world. The project begins with the premise that it's essential to meaningfully include young people in peace and security decision-making, planning and action processes at all levels. Given this, the project is co-designed by, led by, with and for young people and the communities in which they live. We're going to be starting recruiting for this project shortly, and it will officially start in February 2021 and revolve around 2 core stages: peace education, and non-violent direct action organising. In stage 1 of the project, 120 participants from 10 or more different countries will have the opportunity to go through a 6-week online learning experience to gain and develop foundational knowledge and skills for preventing war and promoting peace. The 120 participants will be made up of 100 young people, aged 15 to 30, and we envision that at least half of them will be Rotaract and Interact. The other 20 will be adult supporters, and we envision that at least half of them will be Rotarians. Stage 1 of the work feeds into what we do in stage 2, which is non-violent direct action organising. Here, young people and the adults that support them will have opportunities to move from ideas to action, to put the theory that they've been learning into real practice on the ground to make a difference. They do this via designing, implementing and evaluating their own peace projects which address urgent community needs in a way where youth lead, adults guide the projects. In addition to the community projects which are developed, the teams will have opportunities to present their work to a wider audience, developed through public events or other knowledge exchange activities. The content and methodology for all this work will be drawn from World Beyond War's award-winning, globally recognised educational work, in addition to drawing from the latest scholarship around peace studies, positive psychology and social impact. This includes drawing from cutting-edge research from the likes of the Institute for Economics and Peace via their Global Peace Index and the Positive Peace Framework. So if you're interested in getting involved with this work or want to find out more information, then please get in touch with us, and also please attend our upcoming webinars. You can contact either Alison Sutherland, the chair for the Rotary Action Group for Peace, or myself via email, phil@worldbeyondwar.org. Thanks so much and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.
Gender equality is one of the key components of positive peace. Countries are more peaceful and prosperous when women have equal rights and opportunities. Involving the whole of society in peace and security leads to more sustainable peace. Even within relatively peaceful states, higher levels of gender equality corresponds to a lower propensity for conflict. Bringing women into the sphere of negotiation in situations of conflict and prevention is one major condition for peace. So too is expanding our notion of peace to include relationships between private individuals, particularly amongst men, women and their children. Research shows that the single greatest prognosticator of a nation at war is not the level of wealth or democracy, or the presence of religious or ethnic conflict, but rather the level of violence perpetrated against women. We will therefore explore effective ways to create public awareness in order to break the taboo of guilt and stigma that women experience. We will also develop and propose adequate measures and support mechanisms to counteract the causes of violence against women and domestic violence. We have prepared 3 projects. 1. Safe Homes, Fighting Domestic Violence in Switzerland. 2. Violence Against Women, Training Advocates in Nigeria. 3. Setting up a hospital-based gender-based violence program in Kenya. All our projects have been created to address urgent needs in the communities, providing sustainability and measurable results, in line with Rotary's work in the field of peace and conflict prevention. Join us in our efforts to stop violence against women and gender-based violence and to promote gender-equal and peaceful societies.
Artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, augmented reality, digitization, those are not buzzwords anymore. They become part of our daily life, and even part of our own communities. Many of the instruments we have been using every day are actually powered by those technologies, such as virtual reality and recommendation systems. Those technologies have the potential to drastically improve the quality of our lives and the welfare of those people who are suffering from various kinds of predicaments. But what about peace in particular? How can we leverage those technologies to make sure that they can promote the social harmony and peace? Our theme, New Technology and Peace, sets a great example in this regard. My name is Mu Yiyang. I'm the leader of this very exciting theme. One of the projects we are going to present in our theme is the Virtual Lab project. It uses digitized innovations such as augmented and virtual reality on webs and mobile phones to create a virtual learning platform that enables science students to continue their learning and practice their operational skills when those students are unable to access the real labs due to different circumstances such as natural disasters, war, power shortages, pandemics, and so on. The objects will involve customized programs and applications on mobile phones and website based on the modules and the curricula of the corresponding faculties, such as the courses taught in dentistry and engineer departments in various universities in conflict areas like Iraq and Syria, as well as some of the STEM subjects, such as physics, in high schools in those conflict zones. Our virtual lab project and other projects in our theme takes a very gender particular perspective, focusing on different physical and social obstacles faced by female students from those conflict areas. Please join us in our project and our theme that offer an idea enriching, spirit empowering, and a collective experience in which each of us can participate to deploy the new technologies for a more inclusive, equal, and peaceful community and a better future for all of us. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Eva Cermak. I'm a Rotary Peace Fellow from Chulalongkorn University. I live in Graz, Austria, where I'm the head of an NGO where we medically treat people without health insurance or people from marginalized groups free of charge. Today I'm here to talk about the connection between health and peace. On the most basic level, everybody cares about their children when they're sick. And on the physical level, we all have the same blood and we feel the same pain. There is no difference between you and me when we are sick. On a different level, there is also the option to do some work across cultures in medicine, like me and my colleagues have been doing the last couple of months. My colleagues are doctors in Burundi and India who are preparing peace and medicine projects there, and they are now going to talk about their planned projects. So, Dr. Luis, why is this project especially important for Burundi?
Many people think that chronic diseases are a problem of a rich country. But actually, the chronic non-communicable diseases are also a problem of poor country like ours, Burundi. For example, there is a high number of patients suffering from disease, chronic non-communicable disease. For example, the diabetes is the first cause of hospitalization in our country of patients, and it is the reason of 40% of amputation. The cervical cancer is responsible of 44% women's death from cancer. High blood pressure is usually associated with diabetes in 40% case. The probability of dying between age of 40 and 70, one of this disease is 24%. I hope in that context, the management of this disease generally difficult in terms of technically and financially. It means becomes very difficult, so that it is very needed to do this project in Burundi.
Thank you. And how do you see that in your project health and peace are connected?
Our project can contain the peace because health care is one of the primary way in which members of a society expresses their commitment to the well-being of another. It means that people who are suffering from those different diseases are coming from a different group, and the same of the healthcare providers. When we give support for the kind of people, they understand after the support that the problem is not the difference group, but the problem is about the matter of the disease. Why I think that is we can have the link between our project of health and the peace.
Okay, thank you. Why is this project especially important in India?
It's very important in India. It's particularly very important in my state, Assam, because my Assam state have the highest maternal mortality rate right now, and it has also the highest infant mortality rate. So if we see the data, we can see that the maternal mortality rate in Assam is 300, which against the Indian figure, the national figure of 167, which is almost double, and also the infant mortality rate is 44 against the national figure of 37. So my research studies suggested that the average fertility rate among the tea garden laborers, which I'm focusing on, is 5.2 against the national figure of 2.4. So there are no proper family planning services due to lack of proper awareness and illiteracy. So I think my state is the right option so that I can implement my project here.
How do you feel that your project is connecting health and peace?
Yeah, I think my project will definitely contribute to peace. Normally, in patriarchal societies like India, husbands or partners occupy a dominant or supremacy positions, and they are not involved in family planning and reproductive services. So if we create awareness on equal participation of wife and or husbands in family planning and child care, we can initiate a process of good health and well-being of a family. So for me, peace means good health and well-being on all the family members. So my project is definitely will help of all the family members. Thank you.
And finally, I want to present you a project that we added only recently. It is run by Dr. Rémi Siliox of France. He's a plastic surgeon and he has been treating victims of burns in Nepal. I'm going to show you some slides about his project. Thank you very much for interest and watching. I do hope you will join us at the Rotary Peace Project Incubator and finance one or all of our projects. Bye.
Hello to all the peace activists out there. My name is Karin Augustat. I'm German and a social anthropologist and psychologist, and I have studied as a Rotary Peace Fellow at Chulalongkorn University in Bangkok. Within the Rotarian Peace Project Incubator initiative, I'm coordinating the group about building trust in post-conflict communities. So during wars and conflicts, people suffer from violence, destroyed livelihoods, human rights violations, and often terrible atrocities. These people are left behind with traumatic experiences, as well as broken family and community relations. Their psychosocial and economic life is deeply destabilized. So specific ethnic or religious groups or whole nations might then develop resentments, distrust and hatred against the others, whom they now perceive as their enemies or aggressors. In such a climate, minor conflicts can stir up again new hostile clashes and continue the vicious cycle of violence, hatred and new trauma. So how in such situations people can break this repeated cycle of violence and trauma? How can they build trust and lasting peace again in their communities? For this, we strongly believe that only if people can reconnect to their inner peace, they will be able to create outer peace. So what does that mean? It is important to assist communities to restore their own stability, to find their own way of community healing. We need to focus much more and first on restoring and strengthening the inner well-being, the inner peace of the people. Only then they are able to build trust, to overcome trauma and hatred, and to find again reconciliation. Only then they can create lasting peaceful relations and positive peace in their communities. So, for example, trauma work needs to become an important part of peace work. New approaches of psychosocial rehabilitation are needed now, where communities also learn how to resolve conflicts and use own self-help processes of individual and collective trauma rehabilitation. These approaches need to be combined with other external well-being measures like security, safety, economic restoration, or just official peace negotiations. And they need to be integrated into a holistic peace-building initiative. So for my part, I want to promote a promising project in the eastern part of Democratic Republic of Congo, where people have lived through chaos of wars for many years. The objective corresponds what we want to push forward in our group: ending the cycle of violence, empowering communities to overcome conflict and trauma for building a peaceful future. The project wants to develop an innovative approach of local multiplication systems of trainers who can reach out to the communities to train and assist them in conflict resolution skills, as well as in self-help oriented individual collective trauma work. The aim is to strengthen their participatory community healing process for lasting peace. A training model and manual will be developed according to the local community needs and can later be extended to other communities. So maybe you can reach out to your own communities with the idea of inner peace to outer peace. Thank you for listening.
So many exciting projects. We hope that you are curious to learn more about them. My name is Sibylle Ruprecht. I'm the Secretary General of the Swiss Liechtenstein Rotary Action Group for Peace, and I am an active Rotarian. Peace is not the absence of war. We must work together to achieve positive peace, a world in which people can thrive. To obtain this, we must touch the economy, the health sector, the education, human rights and laws, governance, the environment. And peace starts with you and within you. Each one of you must carry the light of peace to your families, your community, and the society at large. Our Rotarian Peace Projects Incubator addresses all of these issues and fosters and grows peace projects. It is an ongoing process which will be carried on beyond the Geneva Peace Week. For more information and latest updates, please consult our website www.rppi.ch. We would like to thank all of those involved in elaborating these peace projects, which will contribute to a better world. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to your questions and remarks. Goodbye.
Oh yes, we all as individuals have a role to play. You know, we sometimes think you have to be a politician or a big leader to be able to contribute to solving problems around the world. But we don't have to make big gestures. It can be a small gesture. If we each did our little bit, starting in our own community, starting in our own schools, wanting to help immunize a child, or using our voice to say, this must stop, this war can't go on. You know, it's enough, and banding together with others to support a cause that we believe in, a cause that UN is working on, whether it's protection of the child, whether it's maternal health, whether it's ending a war. We all have the right to make, and so individuals do have power, and they should use the power to work with the UN to make this world a better place.